President Trump saying he's going to decide whether the U.S. will strike Iran within the next 2 weeks. Join us right now to discuss the conflict in the Middle East, the AI tech wars, so much more. Joe Lonsdale is here, co-founder of Palantir, founding partner at 8VC. His investments across the defense industry include Anduril, which is ranked now as CNBC's, the top, I should say, of CNBC's disruptor list. So there you go.
Well deserved.
What do you think is going to happen? I'm not what you want to happen. What do you think is going to happen?
Let's make sure he knows what's going on first. You know the population of Iran?
The population of the Death Star.
He now knows. Everybody knows. 92 million.
Everyone knows it's
92 General million. McChrystal just told us 92 million Iranians are all jonesing for a nuke.
No. That's ridiculous. The reality here that people, if you want to understand Iran versus other places, is the people of Iran, the Persian people, the Kurds, the others there, they're much more natural allies of the Jews, of USA, of the West. This was a very modern country before it was conquered by these insane theocrats.
That's exactly what I would say.
That's a very important point to understand.
They were going to throw flowers at us in Iraq. That never happened.
Yeah, well, and I'm not saying they're going to throw flowers at us here, but this is a lot different situation. And it's I work with a lot of amazing Persian people. I'm really excited to invest in Iran if we can get this country to be some sort of republic, not run by crazy people. And that's a lot easier than doing that in Afghanistan or somewhere else.
Well, so how much do you think this is about? We were talking to the Minister of the Economy in Israel. Is it about regime change, like full-on regime change in Iran, versus just eliminating the nuclear threat?
Well, it's very clear that this administration says it's about eliminating the nuclear threat. That's their goal. I respect that. When we attacked Iraq 20 years ago, even then I thought it was a mistake versus going after Iran. Iran's clearly a really evil regime. So I've been against the Iranian regime. I've been for freeing Iran for a long time. That is not what this administration says they're doing, and I respect that. I think it is critical we get rid of the nukes.
Okay, so from what you know, as somebody who I think of as inside the defense industrial complex, there's a question, this is actually a very technical question, just about these buster bunker bombs. Do you think that they could actually do the job? Because that is the fundamental question that I think Trump is trying to figure out. If it works, I think he may do it. If he's convinced that it may not work, it's a different question.
I'm told that they do the job. It seems to me there's no reason they shouldn't be able to do it. The other thing you can do is you can hit things multiple times, which is not a bad idea, which is probably what I would do even if I was told they worked, if I was the leader, just in case. But I'm told they work, and I think we have to use them.
But the Israeli Minister of Economy said, doesn't matter. One way or another.
We're doing it anyway. We're figuring it out.
So why do it as the United States? Why even get involved?
If people chant death to America for years, if people kill American soldiers, and then people try to build a nuke, you should make it clear they can't have a nuke. I think that's like a very basic thing. I don't understand what this new woke right's doing. I think we've actually shown that the vast majority of the right does not want them to have a nuke and supports that activity. There's a lot of Islamist bot accounts online right now trying to pretend that they're on the right, that they're against doing this. But
they're hitting me right now.
What he's describing is the new woke right.
I heard, yeah.
Is the new woke right, is Steve Bannon and Tucker Carlson part of that?
Those guys are part of it, and a bunch of Pakistani accounts online pretending to be Christians are part of it. Let's be clear. There's millions of fake bot accounts online as part of this. And yes, it is true. There's a lot of good people in MAGA who I respect who do not want to put more troops on the ground. They are angry about wasting trillions of dollars and lots of lives in the Middle East, and I think that is a legitimate thing to be angry about. That does not mean you don't stop crazy people from getting a nuke. It's very simple.
And it's possible that not all interventions are the same. And this might not, it doesn't have to be like Iraq and Afghanistan.
It's a childlike stubbornness because they're so angry about what happened before, which is unfortunate.
I want to pivot the conversation to AI for a moment, if you'd indulge me. We're watching one of the great soap operas of our time play out between Microsoft and OpenAI, and we can get into Elon in a moment. But what do you make of what's happening between OpenAI and Microsoft at this point? They were partners, they are partners, and now it sounds and seems increasingly almost every day like this is a fracturing relationship.
I mean, listen, Microsoft's preserving their optionality. They're partners in some ways, but it seems to me very clear from the outside that they're both preserving their ability to try to fight and win separately, which they have to do.
Can they? I mean, so there's two issues, right? So for Sam Altman, he needs to be able to continue to raise capital, right? This company still is not making money. It's dependent on continuing to raise capital almost repeatedly. At some point, hopefully, it gets to some kind of escape velocity where you don't need to do that. I don't know what you think of the economics of that business. At the same time, it's unclear to me where Microsoft really sits in terms of its own LLM efforts. Obviously, they hired Mustafa away to run that business, and I imagine there's lots of interesting things going on there, but we don't see them in part because they're offering, OpenAI as part of their Copilot service.
From the outside, it seems like a mistake to me that they're fighting. Everyone's saying, oh, wow, Elon's having to spend $1 billion a month, on his efforts. I think OpenAI is something like $4 billion a month on their efforts, right? And it seems like Microsoft would be a really good thing to have as a close ally. It's not clear to me when these things get profitable. I think a lot of people claim they're going to be profitable in a few years, and they probably know it better than me. But this stuff's going to be really expensive for a while, and especially given that they're all fighting.
Can we talk about DOGE? We often talk about DOGE. I know you're an old pal of Elon's. What do you think about some of the comments that Elon has made about DOGE recently, and just talk about fractured relationships, the fractured relationship with the Trump administration right now?
Listen, there's been a lot of mess there the last couple weeks. We still have a lot of our smartest friends working at DOGE. They're still cutting billions of dollars of nonsense, so I'm really glad they're there. I don't want them to give it up. They're still fixing a lot of things with these different areas. I guess obviously supportive of everything Elon overall did there. I was a little frustrated with the comment he made earlier this week, which was that, there's a tidal wave of AI coming, and therefore we don't need to worry about cleaning the beach of the government. I think that's actually the wrong conceptual model. The correct conceptual model, Andrew, is that AI is coming to our society, and it's really important that AI ends up lifting everyone up. And the way it's going to do that is through Western civilization's ways it works. So we have the civilization that's built based on the Enlightenment, based on its property rights, its Judeo-Christian values, its classical virtues. It's a functional civilization. We don't want to give that all up for AI. We want to go in. We want to make healthcare and education work better, but we have to do it through the way it works.
What did you think he was saying there? Because here he was for a very long time saying we need to actually make government more efficient, and then there seemed to be a little bit of a switch to say, actually, maybe not. Was that a lesson that he learned just sort of suffering in Washington in the swamp? Or do you think that was really a view that, AI really is going to change everything and basically everyone's wasting their time?
I think making government work better is really, really hard. It takes a lot of persistence, takes a lot of time. On the margin, his time might be better spent building these amazing AI companies, and I think that's completely legit. But I don't think we should discount the importance of fixing government, especially because of AI. Because if we want to have everyone do better in healthcare and education and government itself, these things need to be functional. They need to work with it. They need to block crony capitalism. That means functional government. So you need both.
Are you switching back, Tel Aviv stock market at an all-time high? Do you think this is the possibility of an actual Arab Spring come true? And if you get rid of these guys, the mullahs, you've still got the Palestinian problem in Gaza and all these other things. Is it immediately usher in this golden age of the Middle East where everybody gets along and the Abraham Accords are signed by everyone?
It's not going to be everything perfect, but it could be pretty darn good because there's, Obama for some reason wanted the balance of power of these bad guys against everyone else.
He never said the words Islamic extremism.
No, you got these crazy.
I don't understand what his.
You have these crazy Islamic radicals funding the Houthis, funding Hamas, funding Hezbollah, creating terror around the region, forcing Qatar and others to play both sides. If you can actually take out those mullahs, you can get rid of that one axis. I think the Abraham Accords dominates. I think it's very good for Israel. It's very good for America. I think it is a lot more peaceful time.
We got to go, but I had one more AI question, but I know we've ping-ponged from thing to thing to thing. Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, spending more money than God right now. Trying to I don't know if you saw, Sam Altman says that he's offering some of his engineers $100 million bonuses.
Lonsdale knows what nine figures is.
So you know what's going on.
I had to look up nine figures.
So I want to know, but I want to know, does this make any sense? What's this going to do, by the way, to your business or anybody else who needs these people?
This is the talent war we're fighting now. I heard last month it was $40 million for someone. Before that was $20 million. We're regularly fighting for the very top talent for like $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. Guys like Deon Gross and Alexander Wang and others, they're probably worth huge amounts of money, and the market's adjusting to that. So I think Mark is actually sane, and he wants to fix his AI was a little bit screwed up. He wanted the best people to help fix it. He's paying for the best people.
And do you think it's going to happen? Because the other thing, listening to Sam, was he has a view, which I thought was interesting, which is if you pay people at that order of magnitude, that actually they don't necessarily, they're not there to make it happen. They're there for the paycheck. It's actually a very interesting question, because if I told you in advance I'm giving you $100 million, which obviously is life-changing money, it's interesting what you might do.
You know, the way it always worked at places like Palantir and Adapar is you wanted low salary, high upside, and it's much better for the culture. So you're right about that. Some of these people are just such extraordinary talent that it might be more equivalent to like an NBA star you're bringing in. And sometimes the NBA star pays off.